Good morning, 8th grade. Today we're going to be working with Lesson 14, Verbs Transitive and Intransitive. At the top of page 77, if you would please put your first and your last name, Class 8, and today's date, 10/22, Thursday, October 22nd. Thank you. Please remember that we are going to keep our packets together. After tomorrow's class, we'll put our packet into Monday's homework folder. Today's lesson is a review lesson. For those of us who were here at Garden Homes last year, you will remember on several different occasions we reviewed direct objects in a sentence, and that's what today's lesson is about. Sentences that have direct objects that we call transitive, and sentences that do not have a direct object that we call intransitive. These sentences, because they are sentences, all contain a subject and a verb, but some of them may have an object, and that's what we're looking to identify today. Depending upon its use in a particular sentence, an action verb can either be transitive or intransitive. A transitive verb is followed by a word or words called the indirect object, and it's going to be a noun or sometimes a pronoun like it that takes the place of a noun. It answers the questions what or whom. An intransitive verb doesn't have a direct object. Shortest sentence in the Bible is intransitive. Jesus wept. There's a subject, there's a verb, but there is not a direct object. So my task for today is to read the sentence. I find the verb and I ask myself who, what, whom. If there is not a noun that follows the verb, that is not part of a prepositional phrase. If there is not a noun, I call it intransitive. If there is a noun, I call it transitive. Example, subject pilot, verb landed. Landed what? Landed airplane. Transitive. Why? Because it has a noun that follows. Landed what? Airplane. Pilot landed what? Carefully. No, this is not a noun. This is an adverb. Again, some of you might be remembering words that end in ly are usually adverbs. So this one is called intransitive. This one is called transitive for the simple reason that it has a noun, a direct object that follows. So what I'm looking to do today is to see if the sentence has a direct object. A direct object follows the verb. It completes the action. It receives the action. Usually answers the question what, sometimes whom, sometimes who. In place of the directions that are on your page, what we would like to do for these 15 items is to, if there are prepositional phrases, highlight them one color or put parentheses around them. Number 2, underline the verb or use a second color. Thirdly, circle the direct object or, if you'd prefer, use a third color. And then on the blank, label it transitive or intransitive. The pilot started the airplane. There is no prepositional phrase. Started is the verb, or I can underline it rather than highlighting. I could circle or highlight airplane, which is the direct object. That makes it transitive. Wilbur Orville built, verb, built what? Airplane. Transitive. Why? Because it has a direct object. They built what? Machine. Transitive. You will notice this also has a prepositional phrase. This is a noun, but this can't be the object. That's why it's helpful to separate these prepositional phrases so I'm not tempted to look at it. They took it to Kitty Hawk. They took what? They took it. Again, before I said something about having a pronoun sometimes it takes the place. The rest of this, prepositional phrases, Transitive, not because it has prepositional phrases. Transitive because it has an object. Wright flew what? Wright flew plane. Wright flew plane. What does that make it? That makes the sentence transitive. Why is it transitive? Because it has a direct object. Winds blew. Blew what? Steadily. No. This is an adverb. This does not have a direct object. Therefore, this is red. That means it's intransitive. Winds blew, no object. The 12-horsepower engine sputtered, just like Jesus wept. It's a simple sentence, contains no object, red, intransitive, I. Number 7, soon it lifted the 750-pound plane into the air for a flight of 120 feet. This is a prepositional phrase. In this sentence, ask yourself, what is the verb? What did it do? Lifted. What did it lift? It lifted the plane. Does it have an object? Yes. It makes it transitive. Orville's brother, Wilbur, who knows what this is? You're correct. It's in a positive. Brother ran alongside. Is alongside a noun? No. That means that this sentence is intransitive. First flight lasted only 12 seconds. First flight landed only 12 seconds. Is this a prepositional phrase? Only 12 seconds? Or did the flight last seconds? Lasted how, when, or where? Only. What kind of seconds? 12 seconds. So you got to be careful in this sentence. It lasted seconds. That makes this transitive. The Wright brothers made what? What did they make? They made flights. That's transitive. The longest one lasted. Lasted what? Seconds. Transitive. Newspapers carried what? Newspapers carried news. Newspapers carried news. That makes this sentence transitive. Brothers made what? What did the brothers make? Brothers made improvements. That makes this sentence transitive. 14 and 15 are like the other three that are highlighted red up above. Designers, what did designers do? Worked. Worked what? It's worked how? The word hard is an adverb. That's intransitive. It does not have an object. Airplanes. What did the airplanes do? They appeared. The sentence ends with the verb. This is intransitive. 5, 6, 8, 14, and 15 are intransitive. What makes them intransitive? They're intransitive because there is no object answering the question who, what, or whom. The rest of these numbered items on this page are all transitive because they have an object. Built what? Machine. Took it. Lifted plane. Lasted seconds. Made flights. Lasted seconds, okay? They all have objects. Your takeaway from this page 77 is that if a verb has an object, a direct object, we call it transitive. If the verb does not have a direct object, we call it intransitive. Class, that's our work for today, Thursday, October 22nd. Again, please keep your papers together, and at the end of the class tomorrow, we'll want to be sure to take this packet and put it inside of Monday's homework folder. Tomorrow we'll revisit this item of transitive and intransitive, and we'll be finished up for the week. There is no further assignment. However, if you do have questions concerning transitive and intransitive, contact me by way of GoGuardian. Have a great Thursday.